go over when you can see everything? How do I transition again? Oh, that's right. Here we are. It's wait. Did I roll a wild? It's gonna make you smile, just like a small child. And if you like hot sauce, but only mild,
He's still
it'll be
going.
fine. But guys, welcome. It's, wait, did I roll a wild? Your Marvel Crisis Protocol vlog. I'm Tim. I'm here. I'm joined by two of my favorite Ds in this entire gosh dang world, Dr. D, as well as Dan.
Hi.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Hi.
We're going to
Hi.
be talking about a few things tonight. First, we're going to be talking about the Rhino cards that came out earlier this week and how they make a 4 into a 4. While also discussing some of our affiliations that next year in 2023, as part of our 2022 year in review, that we think either really needs or deserves a little bit of love. In addition to all that, I will not ask Dr. D what he painted this week. And after the stream tonight, we will be going live for our Patreon-only show over at patreon.com/professionalcasual, the cleanup phase, where this week we'll be doing another Elite Eight Showdown-style bracket, battling out the most mid 4 threats. Not the best, not the worst, not the pushes or the cushes. We're talking about just the ones that absolutely deserve to be a 4. I just need to take a really quick moment.
Again, this happened
They
before.
bring the meat, but they in fact don't bring the heat.
And just shout out to Mr. Bowling in chat, who has tried to say the word curva, who is a character on one of the other podcasts here at the network, the Lost Omens podcast. And Twitch chat has said, whoa, do you want to allow this word, curva, from being in...
Yeah, Twitch is just orc for bucket.
They really are. Also, before we get started, and I forget to ask Dr. D what he hobbied this week, we have a very, very, very special announcement today. Today, all day, some might say, is an incredibly important day. As it's Alyssa's birthday!
I almost just said happy birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! But yeah, happy birthday, Alyssa. So after stream, we'll be going over, we'll be doing the cleanup phase. We'll probably talk a little bit about Everwinter. We'll probably reveal some new designs for some stuff.
Cool.
We'll probably show a lot more designs than we ever have before, and then let you decide which ones we will be releasing next over in the Discord.
What?
Right? So listen, we're gonna go out. 2022 is gonna go out with a
Bang!
Nope, just a
Bang.
No, nope, none of those things. Just like a sigh of relief. Like you just mowed the lawn, and you went to the porch, and there was a tall, cool glass of lemonade, and you take a sip, and you go,
oh, okay.
Lemonade's frozen.
Like a good okay.
Yeah, like a good
I was thinking like leaving a carton of milk outside and letting it bake in the sun for 2 years and then opening it up.
Yeah, that's how you make
Why?
cheese in upstate New York. Oh, over here in Oneonta. Do about that? I don't know.
That's true.
But let's get right into it. Dan is in fact a Lions fan.
I got his hat for Christmas.
He did. But, we keep him around anyway.
Don't you know I like the things that no one else cares about? Iceman, the Lions, it
And
all
they're all
tracks.
blue.
Well, again,
It is
it
his
tracks.
favorite
All
color.
blue.
Yeah.
One track mine here. When I was a kid, I picked the Lions because I liked Honolulu blue.
What's Honolulu blue?
That's what they call their color, blue.
There's more than one type of blue? That's just blue, bro.
Just look at the NFL teams. There's so many different blues.
Mm-mm.
There's Lions, Panthers, Bills.
The Panthers,
Texans.
Panthers aren't blue.
Yes, they are. It's like a turquoisey blue.
I don't know about that.
Bills are blue. Giants are blue. Texans are blue. They're all different blues.
The Charlotte Hornets.
That's not football.
Are the Charlotte Hornets still around? I know
have
I've
no
asked
idea.
this on a whole bunch of different shows.
We brought this up a few times. No one's bothered to look it up because no one else cares.
Could someone just let us know? You can write us over at P.O. Box G.
Chargers are different blue.
As in green? West Oneonta, New York 13861, and write us a postcard letting us know and showing cited sources on if the Charlotte Hornets are still around or not.
Seahawks are different blue.
Sources.
But you could also text us at 603-803-3235 to let us know as well, and if you wanted to send like a link or something about whether the Charlotte Hornets are real. But Dan, what did you hobby this week?
Well, you scared me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did do some hobby this week. What did I did? I finished up Wolverine and Sabretooth before the last stream. The new ones. They were awesome and they were great in game. I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're really good.
I've been working on the Rivals Dr. Octopus. He's like base coated, I think everything but his skin and sunglasses.
Okay.
Everything else has a base color on it, and then he just needs some highlights and whatnot, and he'll be good to go. I have Red Skull and his Hydra Troopers on the paint tray.
Okay.
No paint on them yet other than priming, but they're there.
Listen, prime is paint.
Yeah. And I was working on the Deepkin Warband for Warhammer Underworlds.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because I like
You got a bunch of Underworld stuff, too.
I got a whole bunch for Christmas. Danny went crazy at Bearded Dragon Games.
So, as someone who is vehemently anti-GW, I will say that the underground stuff, usually those warbands look pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're anti-GW, you have to appreciate how good their models are.
Yeah, for sure. Their sculptors don't deserve the hatred. It's pretty much everything around them.
So I got a bunch of stuff MCP related as well for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I got the construction set. I got the Wolverine Sabretooth rival set.
Because he's the second Sabretooth?
Yeah, Sabretooth. Ben taught me that. I really like it a lot. As well as there's like a third terrain pack in there too. Construction set. That
Crash Sentinel.
Crash Sentinel.
In New York. Oh, Sentinel.
That's right. So I
Best terrain sets.
primed him.
Wow.
I primed the construction set.
How?
I went into the basement, into a corner, and I was like, it's really cold down here. This is going to come out really thick. And it came out very thick.
Yeah.
I did it because all my other stuff, I have this like really nice concave tub that's in the garage still that's guarded by those cats that I can't get to. So I primed them, and I know that this is probably going to get a lot of negative attention, but I primed them inside of a shoebox.
I mean, that by itself
that's
isn't
fine.
bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
As long as the primer itself is warm. If it's cold out, it's not the end of the world.
Right. So here's what I'm saying though. Like it was inside the shoebox.
Yeah.
So I sprayed it from the top.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh no, how am I going to get the size? There's not enough room because it was one of the shoeboxes with the top attached instead of one you could take off.
Okay.
So and also all of that terrain from both of those sets were all in there, all mashed together. So then I had to start picking up individual cans and like spraying the back of them and.
So you just wait for it to dry and then turn them all and spray it again.
Nope. I just did them all at once, and then I picked
Sometimes
it up.
You're such a train wreck.
Picked up the Fisk building. That was the hard one, and I was doing that, and it got real thick, and it's all over my hands and stuff. And I didn't like wear gloves or anything because we didn't have any. So yeah, there's a real thick layer of black primer on the Fisk building, and everything else that was in that box.
At least it's terrain, like it's.
And then it stuck to the cardboard too when I tried to pull it off.
Did some cardboard still stuck to it?
Oh, there's a lot of cardboard stuck to it still. Yeah. You remember that picture that came out?
You can't do these things. You need to be taught to do these things.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you say that someone should make a blog about this kind of stuff?
Yeah. So
how to prime your models without ruining them.
So that's maybe an idea for a blog. If you haven't checked out professionalcasual.com, Dr. D has written all of our incredible painting blogs over there, and none of them have how Tim specifically should be priming his models.
How to prime a model.
Yeah.
Of all the things I need to talk about.
Yeah.
I want you to include some pictures of what you did as like, this is what not to do.
If you got no folds in your brain, this is what it's going to look like. All right, let's put some folds in your brain.
And I think I could do that actually. That'll be a new series I do of what not to do, and I will go in looking up nothing ahead of time, and just I will look up terms right about specific effects and things like that, and I'll just figure it out based on how the word sounds.
Just based off the headlines.
When someone's like non-metallic metal or whatever, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna do that.
And then you just use like metallic paint.
Yeah, except probably. Well, no, it's non-metallic, so I guess.
No, I know.
I don't know. I just used car paint probably.
It's
That makes
like
sense.
house paint.
Just gets enamel.
Yeah. I'll make it look like a 1990s like huge retainer. You know how it had all that sparkly gel stuff in there? It kind of looked metal and shiny, but it wasn't. It was resin. So I think that's the way to do it. I
Or they
think
just paint them with resin, yeah.
Yeah, can you do that? Is that a thing?
I mean, resin starts as a liquid.
Right.
It's true.
All right.
It'd be unbreakable models. You could put a cup on them all day in your cup holder.
One thick layer
Of resin.
of resin. All right, guys. A lot of really exciting things coming to the Professional Casual Network in 2023.
A lot of weird stuff happening in Tim's house real soon.
Ooh, Jimmy Jams, wax and candle. I could paint something with wax, probably.
What?
All right.
I had a friend in college. He was my housemate when we had an apartment the last 2 years. And we were all college students, so we were broke as anything. And he couldn't afford paintbrushes, but we played Warhammer and whatnot. And he painted a whole bunch of models with toothpicks. He just dipped the toothpick in the pot and smear it on there and move it around there like fire demons, so it actually worked pretty well.
What material? This was how he was painting with resin?
No, with paint.
Oh, I tuned out there for a second.
He was using toothpicks instead of a brush.
Oh, okay.
He was painting, they were dryads he had as fire demons for a different army, and he was painting them with toothpicks.
All right. I'll paint with toothpicks too.
I'm not saying you need to. I'm just another example.
So
You know what? I'll prime
you know
with
what?
toothpicks.
Here,
I don't care.
hey.
That doesn't even make
When
sense.
when I first started, the very first thing I bought was a box of Cadians, and when I started painting, couldn't afford paintbrushes, but I was in middle school, so I used toothpicks, and me and a friend had to share a single pot of Regal Blue, Citadel Regal Blue. They don't even make that color anymore.
I love
So-
that color.
I feel your pain.
You think you
Truly.
could paint with a hot dog?
What?
Paint with it? You could.
Like
I would recommend it.
You know how
Yeah,
they like
not
splay
exactly.
the end sometimes to make the octopuses? Like, what if you made that like a thing and you could put a model in it and like pull it up with paint on it?
Well, I mean, like a pot or a pack of hot dogs is probably about the same cost as a paintbrush.
That's
You can get a paintbrush for $1. You guys
get
buy.
a pack of
you
hot dogs for
can
$1.
get a paintbrush for
You
$1.
absolutely. I understand that you don't eat bar ass hot dogs like I do, but listen, sometimes when you're at the Family Dollar,
Well, hey Tim, if you
Yeah.
need a good paintbrush, what you should do is you should go on a
mini
robbery.
hot dogs. Oh,
Do
a
what?
robbery also works.
Because you're gonna skip me for painting.
All right, guys. 2023 is going to be the year where I do some wild stuff painting, and it will be, not with paintbrushes. So we're gonna figure
Gross.
that one out.
I'm kind of excited. You're gonna stream it.
I mean, you gotta, right?
I don't even stream your priming shenanigans.
Dude, I think you could prime with a hot dog.
You
really
should
well.
not have
Prime with the hot dog?
Yeah, you like put a little stick in it,
I
like
don't even want to know.
a paint roller.
There we go. Back to the hot dog. I'm sorry, Chad.
you
I tried.
Dr. D. You
I
tried.
tried.
Anyway.
right back to where it was, like a rubber band.
Just to keep this on task a little bit,
What?
Dr. D, just before we forget to move on, what do you think about these new Rhino cards that came out?
Who? So I will fully embrace the fact that I am pleased with Rhino now because I really like these cards.
So a little bit, not a 180, more maybe a 90 from last week.
Yeah,
A slight
90s card.
meandering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A readjustment. So I think that's good though. And that was one thing very specifically you mentioned last week was that you really hope the tactics cards kind of bring him in line for what you wanted. And
Correct.
he does have two very interesting tactics cards here.
Yes.
One I would say is borderline auto take. The other one, you can make a strong case for.
Brace for impact?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's restricted. It's always an auto take.
Yeah, that's
So
absolutely
since
true.
it's a reprint, I'm going to eat the other one.
It's not a reprint. Not a reprint.
It's got a new picture.
It's got a new
that's
icon in the bottom right as
New
well.
edition.
It does have a new icon.
So we've had
thought
two
so.
two brace for impacts come out, one with the Spider-Man symbol and one with the new X-Men symbol. We have not had one come out with the Thor symbol yet. So there you go, brand new card.
It's somebody
welcome.
throwing a dumpster at him, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a Hulk fist, or
Yeah.
maybe throwing a lizard, or
I can't tell what's in the. Looks like
this is green.
something red in the corner.
What's the
Oh,
big
it's
green thing?
it's Scarlet Spider.
Ulik?
No, it's Ben Reilly Spider-Man throwing the dumpster.
Oh, nice.
Who is you?
Who? I
Who?
really want that model in the game. I really like that look of the Ben Reilly Spider-Man with like the cut off hoodie.
Yeah, Ben really needs to be in the game.
It's so 90s.
Yeah,
It's great.
I completely agree.
Love it. So
Uh,
yeah, Brian's
Rusty
gonna hit with
says-
that dumpster. He doesn't care at all.
Rusty says Dr. D with the real 270 over here.
What?
I love Rusty. Call out to Rusty.
There's a
He's
180.
Oh,
Then a little bit more.
I got it now. Took me a minute. These are both fantastic. I'll read over Rhino in a China shop.
Yeah, I think this is.
This
really
one's
fun one.
just the title of this one
Mhm.
makes me want to take it
Perfection.
every time. It's unaffiliated, which is great because we know he's Spider Foes and Criminal Syndicate. Actually, we know he's Criminal Syndicate. We're assuming Spider Foes. That would be crazy. if it
Brotherhood
wasn't.
got real hopped up seeing that was unaffiliated.
Right. Active. Oh yeah, this will be great in Brotherhood. So Rhino may play this card at the beginning of his activation. The next attack Rhino makes this activation adds dice equal to the combined size of all terrain features destroyed this activation. And at the end of the activation, he takes 2 damage.
This is so awesome.
It's so great. So he does, I forget what it's called, where he smashes through terrain. It's only size 2 or less, right, that he can break?
Stampede.
Yeah.
He stampedes through some pieces of terrain. You add all the size together, and you get that many more dice on his next gore attack.
Can you go
What?
through more than one piece of terrain?
Yeah.
As long as it's
Yeah,
size
so when
2
you
or
move
less.
I think
through
it's
terrain,
any-
you don't stop. You continue moving through. So my assumption would be
I believe it's any size 2 or less terrain that he hits is just gone, and he keeps going.
well, let's give that the regular old
multiple.
confirmation.
Triple check.
Yep,
you
I
know?
just looked. Yeah, he can go through as many of them as he wants.
Nice.
You're
So,
nice.
Thanks, man.
Oh, and he's already adding 2 dice from the stampede, so he goes to 7, strength 7. So you can make this a strength 11, 13 die attack pretty easily.
It's infinite. It's
Yeah.
literally infinite. Say you're Dr. D and you're at a tournament and you need to take down a She-Hulk, or you have a She-Hulk that needs to be taken down. Sometimes there's 4,000 garbage cans on the field, and you would be able to add all of those to
Yeah,
your
just
cards.
smash through him. I mean, he does get
That's true.
that push is medium
Yeah,
with his large base. Like,
he can. Oh, yeah, he can go
Oof.
through a lot of things.
yeah, especially in Brotherhood, Magneto throwing those constructs right in his way to smash through to get extra dice.
Hmm.
That's true. That's a
Ooh,
really good combo,
it'll
actually.
really hurt.
Well, and remember specifically in Brotherhood too. What is it? Do you know who I am? Is an off activation throw. So there's a bunch of abilities that could be used in other tactics cards where more terrain could be destroyed.
Yeah.
In addition to
Now-
just Stampede.
I think the good thing that I think some people might miss
yeah,
is
good point.
the way it's worded, right? If you word it, it says anything destroyed during his activation. I think that also includes his throw. So nobody ever accused the Rhino. I think you can also throw something
Hmm.
Yeah.
up to size 4.
Correct.
And then Juggernaut also does it with "Do you know who I am?" So you
Yeah.
got like 20. That oh my god, this is getting crazy.
Like I mean,
How many blanks is Tim gonna roll when he does this?
an
a few months.
impressive amount. I will roll more blanks than dice that I own. But yeah, I'm super stoked for that. I think that's going to be the one where if you want to make something absolutely ridiculous happen and one shot,
Anybody?
or
A
reliably
bullseye.
be able to one shot for me. Yes, a bullseye was actually where I was going with that joke. But yeah, I'm super stoked for that.
Wow, yeah, I didn't think about throw because during the activation.
Yeah.
Also notable, it doesn't cost any power. He takes 2 damage from crashing into all that stuff, but worth it to get a potentially 20 die attack or some crazy thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Rusty,
Because I mean,
36 dice to roll 3 hits to your opponent's 4 blocks.
And then you take 2 damage back.
Oh,
How
yeah.
many times is Tim going to use this card and Rhino will take more damage than the target?
Yeah, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to absolutely do this. I'll get a ton of dice off. I'll attack Dan's hood, who gets 2 physical dice, and he'll still block 4 damage on it.
2 crits and 2 more successes. Yeah.
no, I
oh,
think
man.
it specifically. Rusty asked a good question. I'm pretty sure he can't reduce the damage to it because I'm pretty sure it says specifically enemy effects.
Yeah. Yep.
I will double check.
Yes,
The old,
enemy effects. Yep.
Yep,
Do it
enemy
right.
effect. Yep. So his Rhino hide does not stop him from taking the full.
Aw,
damage.
man.
Ah, nuts.
That's too bad.
He also does not get power off of it because you only get power from enemy effects.
Yep. So it's just instead of paying power, he pays stamina.
Right.
He pays in blood.
Now, how does this is something I'm sure Ben wouldn't even need me to finish the question before being able to answer accurately. But as far as the Brotherhood ability, each character gains 1 power, but you can only choose them 1 time that turn. So if you do, let's say, blow up with Rhino 36 points of terrain, and everyone's only going to be getting 1 power once.
Yeah.
During that.
Yeah,
okay.
correct.
All right. So the other tactics card is called This is the Robbery.
It's so good.
Another unaffiliated active. If it is Rhino's activation, it is an active. He may spend 2 power to play this card. Choose an enemy character within range 1. That is holding an objective token. The chosen character drops all objective tokens it is holding. Rhino then throws the chosen character medium.
That's so good.
It's pretty okay. I mean, who doesn't love to run up to somebody holding on to something valuable and just yeet them across the board?
It's an unsize restricted throw, though.
There you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you can just run up to Dormammu and be like, "Hey, give me your stuff, nerd." Throw them across the map.
Objective tokens they're holding. So if Dormammu's got 2, 3, 4 hammers, not anymore, and you're over there. Bye.
Oh, does he drop them all or just 1?
Drops
All
any
of them.
objective tokens it is.
Annie. Wow.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So which one is the auto take for you, Dr. D? Is it Rhino in a China shop, or is it This is a Robbery? And why is it actually both?
It's the robbery one, obviously.
Yeah.
I can't even come up with a joke quick enough. I'm sorry. I've failed you, viewers. I'm sorry.
I mean, even just 2 power for a medium throw
Yeah.
is already really good.
So let me tell you my thinking behind why it might be both. Because like my big issue with Rhino was essentially power generation, because he has like a really good suit of powers, but they're all really expensive. So the Rhino in a China shop, I think, addresses the first concern, because you can pay to get power, hypothetically, because of the fact that you only have gore, which is the builder.
Yep.
So now you can pay blood, you can pay money, or I'm sorry, you can pay health to potentially get a big spike to get power. Because I'm thinking that with Rhino, as long as you can kind of get that little jump start power, he can hopefully kind of keep himself going with Stampede, because when he does the gore with 7 dice, he's much more likely to at least get a hit through. So I think in some ways, I think the China one might be even, they might be both be auto includes depending on what you want to do. But I mean, I don't think I need to say why robbery is an auto intake. That one is great for extracts, especially since the game is skewed extract.
Yes,
since the changes.
Well, and and maybe that's the thing, is maybe Rhino is taken when you need to use those tactics cards. Maybe he's not a regular character in your squads. He is in your roster, but with those tactics cards, that's really when you're bringing him out.
And Rhino China Shop, you can see what the table setup is like before you decide if you take it or not. Like, oh, there's not a lot of small terrain.
Right.
You know, like I know I could potentially crash through or throw. So maybe that one's not that one's a little more situational, whereas This is a Robbery. It will be useful every single game.
Right.
He needs to be up close to Gore anyway. Not really. He's range 3, but still, he's going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
Fighting people regardless. So This is a Robbery is just gravy.
And it works so well just because of the fact that Gore has a place within one.
Correct.
It's like it's perfection.
Great follow up.
Just to kind of reiterate that a little bit too, as far as one of the things that I would like to see. I would like to see Gore the God Butcher with a place. Gore with a place.
I would love to.
You would like for Gore to have a place in this game?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
got him.
Got him.
Come make sure to follow right here on twitchtv.com/professional casual network to see me paint Gore the God Butcher with a hot dog at some point, maybe in the future.
Leave a comment.
Did I tell you I had a dream that they revealed Iceman coming out in the game?
No.
Like a couple weeks ago, maybe. It was fantastic. It was one of their video reveals, and they showed him, and I was like, freaking out. And I woke up, and I was like, no!
Did I told you guys the dream I had about a couple reveals that were completely off topic for Marvel, but I got so excited when I woke up, I was like, I gotta go write a blog about this.
Yeah. And you're like, why can't I find this information? Oh, it's not real.
Oh, Tim, you're just dumb.
I will say, I think the one, because I got to be the negative Nancy on this podcast. I kind of wish that they were affiliated. I wish it was like a Spider Foes affiliation or a Criminals affiliation one.
I
Gotta go.
don't disagree that would give criminals or foes a lot more stock, and would
Yeah.
be something that if you could only take it with them would really be kind of unique to them. Especially this is a robbery. I do kind of think should be at least in just criminal syndicate, maybe in both. But
Yeah.
I think for Rhino stock himself, I'm really glad they're they're unaffiliated. That
yeah,
Well,
anytime you
the
take Rhino, you can
problem-
take these.
The problem is that it's like the exact argument I had for Rhino in the first place, is that he's helping affiliations that don't need the help.
right.
I mean, these are both going to be great in Brotherhood. I don't want to see Brotherhood get more help. They don't need it.
I mean, they don't need it. No, that's very
Right.
true.
Yep.
I mean, come on. But I do. But I
He's
won't. I mean, it's not overly negative. I'm sorry I left on a negative note. They're both great.
I
I
don't
love them.
necessarily
Well done,
negative.
AMG. I'm just saying it's a site I had. I was like, oh come on, you couldn't make it at least a little special for Spider Foes or something.
Yeah.
It was a little shame, but other than that, I think their cards are perfect.
I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to announce this for everyone. You cannot use the Rhino arted Brace for Impact unless you are playing Spider Foes or Criminal Syndicate.
Okay, there you go.
Let's make this a thing. It's real now. It's canon. Only here on this show. But
AMG, put it in your FAQ.
yeah,
Can I use
It'll be in their
question?
tournament
Can I use
rules
this
packet.
Brace for Impact in my Brotherhood list? Answer: no, you casual.
Well, what if you have Rhino, but you're playing him in a different affiliation? Can I use this
No.
card?
Nope.
But I have Rhino.
No, it's just like any other affiliated active card. It has or reactive. It has to be used with that affiliation being in play. If you have Wakanda Forever as part of your roster and you bring it in your squad that's Avengers, you can't use Wakanda Forever. Neither can you use Brace for Impact outside of Spider Foes or Criminal Syndicate, but only with that card art,
The Rhino card.
the Rhino card art. Yep.
Or if you don't, Patrick Duffy is going to come and he's going to walk up to your table and be like, "Yo, what is this?"
You're gonna get scuzzle butted, man. That's what happens. But that's gonna be. I'm also declaring it right now. We're gonna be running some leagues for MCP at Bearded Dragon Games Online, and listen, that's gonna be a rule. It's gonna be the first rule in the player packet.
God, no one else is gonna know what we're
Is
talking about.
Patrick Duffy a part of the Professional Casual Network now?
Very soon, actually, very soon.
We're in talks.
He's actually part of the Comic Book Rundown. So if you guys haven't checked out the Comic Book Rundown, it's a podcast that comes out on all good podcasting platforms and is a recent addition to the network where Joe Gennaro and Ron Haynes talk about comics from literally every corner of the universe. Independent, Marvel, DC, it's all there. They're super nice guys. We really like them, and they have a Patreon only show where they discuss character backgrounds and stuff for characters that are coming out for MCP. It's super rad. But just looking at chat,
Good stuff there.
sure thing is coming up with some good lines. I appreciate it. But
Dr. D had a great segue for us into the second segment for this show tonight,
Yes,
saying
yes.
that Brotherhood doesn't need this help with
Sure
something
doesn't.
like Rhino.
that's very true.
But for our last
But you know who
end
did
of year
need some help?
roundup, we want to talk about some affiliations that could use some help, need it or deserve it.
Correct. So this is part 3 of the 2022 year in review. In the first episode, we went over a character that was, or an affiliation, sorry, that was heavily improved after the card update at the end of last year, and which affiliation was improved the most because of that this year. Episode 2, we talked about the character that did that exact thing. Now, going into 2023, what character from this year really needs a little bit of love? And do they deserve it?
A little
All right,
looking
and by
ahead.
character,
you said
I meant,
character,
and by
yeah.
character, that was a joke.
I got it. I
I'm
knew
at a-
what you meant.
I meant affiliation.
I mean, I'm very opinionated about this, so I'll go last. I don't want to steal the show.
Oh, much like ordering at a restaurant, I will elect to go last because I don't know what mine is yet.
I'll take the low hanging fruit then.
Okay.
I'll go with the easy one. Winter Guard.
Brotherhood? Oh.
Oh,
Winter Guard has 4 members, the smallest affiliation,
yes.
and they're really cool. They have a big bear. All the characters I think are individually great at what they do. They just need more to it.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are upset that there were other characters shoehorned in there, like Omega Red or Colossus or Black Widow, Bucky. Characters that have some ties to Russia, which I get why they're not. They're not part of the Winter Guard. That's like saying, oh, they're American, they should be in the Avengers. Like, it doesn't make sense in a lot of those situations. But just so give us more of the Winter Guard, like Chernabog and I had the other names in my head and they just left.
Vladimir Gupin.
Wow.
He's like Glob Herman's dad.
I love Glob Herman. Vostok.
Yes.
There's at least the Red Widow. There's like they could easily double the affiliation with 2 more boxes with just a quick Google search of who else is in the Red
Guardians.
Winter Guard. I almost said Red Guardians.
Yeah,
that's just one of them.
The Red Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So I feel like Winter Guard is the easy, like I said, the low-hanging fruit. They need something else just to give them some variety.
But do they deserve it?
There's somebody way worse than that, and the funny thing is the fact you couldn't even think of them is proof enough. I'll do it next.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I figured Winter Guard. There's only 4.
Yeah,
they definitely deserve it. They need it. They're a cool group that was a nice, like AMG has been doing from the beginning, kind of out there pick that nobody expected this early in the game cycle.
That's legitimate.
And let's give them some more love. Well, I want to see Ursa Major more often because he's got a more complete team around him.
Yes.
So we can see your Cola Major that Taylor painted
for real
a couple weeks ago. So great. Give him the scarf and Coca-Cola bottles. Thanks, Otis.
Yeah,
and all that.
And just to shout that out again, the hobby hangout that Taylor does here on the Twitch, where he painted a lot of that Coca-Cola bear. Was very good, and cool. Really appreciate Otis sending in those Coca-Cola bottles too. But all right, Dr. D, why is it in humans?
So Rusty called it. It's not in humans because I don't care. And so the one affiliation that I think AMG completely forgot about is Defenders.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking either.
What the heck, AMG? Please, the problem that I have with Defenders is that they have a rocking cast of characters. They got a great lineup of characters. They literally have no cards. They don't have a single tactics card.
Right, there's not any
playable
Defenders card, right?
So the only ones that exist for Defenders are all specifically Doctor Strange's extra spells or whatever.
Right.
The one so they made one of them they didn't really make it unusable, but they kind of removed the point of it existing. And then the other ones are really hard to pull off because you need multiple people standing around each other. So
the 7 Sons of Cinnabon.
Yeah, the Cinnabon Super Beam, which I've gotten off a couple times. It is super satisfying, but
it is.
I do think that unfortunately because that affiliation has a lot of your mainstay characters, right? When it comes to Marvel Comics, right? Because it got Spidey, it's got Daredevil, it's got Iron Fist, it's got Hulk. So Long. I would really, this is what I think is going to happen. I have literally not. This is my Chuck Caw or whatever.
Caw of the week, yeah.
Chuck Caw of the week. I'm hoping that Defenders turns into Heroes for Hire. I'm hoping that Misty becomes the leader. And then there'll be a Colleen or maybe a Jessica or whatever version of it you really want to go after.
I'd love to see Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I'm dying for it, right? And so I will play Defenders almost completely solely as soon as it's a playable affiliation. So, Defenders, I think it's impossible to play them. The one you said, at least Winter Guard is, you can play them. People splash it because other than Ursa, they're all pretty good. I mean, they all have a place. I mean, you could say the Dark Star or whatever is not super great either, but Red Guardian is amazing, and
he's really good.
And Ivan Starkovich or whatever his name is also very good.
Well, and he sees a lot of play as a solo splash into other stuff, as far as being able to reroll some of your opponent's attacks. See some heavy use out of it.
Crimson Dynamo was great.
I think Crimson Dynamo was in Younger Phil's, I think, Dark Dimension.
He was.
Roster.
Oh, we never saw him on the stream.
Yeah, but I mean, a great place for him when you can give him some kind of constant power to make sure that people are a little bit more protected. It's really.
I think the point and something that I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing from me is that I think with the leader, I think when you have a 5 threat leader or even a 6 threat, which with A-Force, you have less room. You have like less wiggle room for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Since Doctor Strange is a 5 threat, it's like it's gotta run tighter.
Mhm.
And you need cards to support it, and you can't have all your tactics cards that you don't even want to use tied to the leader that you don't want to bring because he's too expensive.
Yeah, I really
So-
like the idea of them getting a second leader. Misty Knight makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
giving
it'll be
the
Misty.
Heroes for Hire ability instead of whatever Doctor Strange is.
And his is the changing the attack type and then adding hex, which is actually like a pretty good ability.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. I'd like to see something more. Like the whole point of the Defenders is a street level. I always thought it was kind of odd that that Doctor Strange was their only leader.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with it.
But yeah, I think they have a second leader. No, the other Doctor Strange is just in it, but not a leader.
I don't think the other Doctor Strange is
I don't
in
even,
it.
yeah, I don't think he's a defender.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah,
thinking both
he's-
Doctor Stranges are in Convocation.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, I totally agree. They need a second leader and another box that has
And cards.
Defenders cards in it. Yeah.
They just
for
need
sure.
cards. Yes.
So
Anyway,
this one might seem obvious for some. We obviously not maybe not obviously, but an honorable mention to Inhumans, who could maybe use a little bit more. But
I've got one more after yours if you don't
yeah,
use it.
so and that's hard too. There's actually a lot to kind of think about. I think Wakanda is another one that really needs some love, and probably a third one. Hopefully yours wasn't Wakanda, but I was having a really hard time deciding between Wakanda and X-Force. X-Force because I love Cable, but Wakanda
They
has
could use
has
another leader too, though.
yeah, correct.
A Force actually could use another leader.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're stacked for their choices, but another leader would give them a lot more options.
I want to see a 2-threat Gen for A Force. That's just lawyer Gen, just having a good time.
All of her
in
powers.
the book
is
they always
before
call
the
her
wall.
Mousy. It's gonna be Mousy Jen.
Mousy Gen.
Mousy.
But yeah, X Force I think needs a little love, especially
Okay.
with Weapon X, because guess what? It's the same roster but with cooler toys, and I would like to see that fleshed out a little bit more. I'm still surprised Cyclops is not in X Force. I think especially with a lot more of the mutant stuff coming out, there's been a whole bunch of X Force teams, and you could really kind of just throw some more bodies in there. But why isn't Cyclops in X Force?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
He's assembled multiple teams of X Force specifically.
Yeah, it's pretty.
They're
true.
there for him to literally point and be like, Wolverine, can you just kill that guy, please?
Or like Beast is on the current X Force
Yeah.
team.
Yep.
A lot of the stuff in this game is not based on Krakoa era though. So
Correct. Yeah.
not
That's
gonna-
But you know what? Black Cats and Midnight Suns,
right.
because for some reason.
Well, to be fair, because Krakoa. Yeah, that one. I don't know. Just blame it on Krakoa, man.
Oh,
It's
okay.
probably their fault. That's why everyone hates mutants, because they put
Because
Black Cat
Krakoa.
and Midnight Suns.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think a little bit more there. They are a little one trick, and it is odd to have literally the whole roster of them in Weapon X program for the most part,
Except Cable.
except Cable and Domino.
No, Domino's weapon.
Oh, Domino's in there too.
yeah.
Oh, that rascal.
It doesn't make sense.
But Dan, why do you think Wakanda needs a little bit of help?
Well, Wakanda's in a very similar position to Winterguard, where they're sitting at 5 characters.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had anybody new in their affiliation in 2 years. Like, they have some great tactics cards with, like, Wakanda
Yeah.
Forever is fantastic,
It still gets banned from What If events.
right? But, like, especially with, more light being shined on Wakanda with the new Black Panther movie, like,
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see M'Baku. I want to see the gorilla,
Yeah.
whatever iteration, if it's movie or comic, I don't really care. We have I forget what they're called, like the Night Owls or whatever it is.
Yeah.
With
They
with
looked
those blue suits
they
that looked awesome.
hokey. Okay. I disagree. I thought they looked.
They were
Not-
almost too comic accurate. They
Yes.
looked a little
Yep.
out of place, but I think that would be cool. We could have Shuri's Black Panther.
I think very specifically, Shurimonger would be actually a very legitimately
Yeah.
cool new affiliation leader.
Or you could even have T'Chaka as a different version of Black
Yeah.
Panther. Would be kind of cool. Like, I always thought I thought it was a little not weird, but interesting. They had Wakanda as an affiliation from the beginning, and I was really excited to see how they would expand that, and they just haven't. Besides including Storm, and I'd really like to see more. I really want M'Baku.
Yeah,
I
it's
love him in
amazing they haven't
movies.
put M'Baku yet. Yeah, it's
So,
amazing they haven't put him
Well,
there yet.
and again, too, one of the reasons why M'Baku or Black Panther Shuri, unless was she ever Black Panther in the comics? Sure.
I don't know.
They pull like predominantly from comics only, and there's really not a whole lot of MCU. If
Not really, other than
They-
Ancient One and Baron Mordo.
I think they
Yeah.
tend to. I think they tend to pull the lore from the comic, but then the look always seems a lot more inspired by the
yes. Yep.
like the model.
It's weird. It kind of depends on the character.
But so I would really like M'Baku too, like really bad. I love that character. I'd
even be fine with like a 2-threat movie version where he's just a big dude
right,
with a wooden club smashing things.
but yeah, I don't think we've seen any solo MCU characters in MCP outside of their imagining, like you said with Ancient One, or
What do you mean solo MCU character?
I mean characters in the MCU that have never been part of comics.
Yeah, I would say the
I
ancient.
see. I
One.
see.
I think the ancient one might almost be completely MCU.
At least the look of it, yeah. And Baron
Yeah.
Mordo, like he has the vaulting boots of Valtor that he had in the movie and the staff and
Yeah.
everything. It's very different from the comic version, which I'm fine with. I don't really know. Baron Mordo's one was like, I mean, it's cool. I don't really care about the character in the comics. I never read Doctor Strange stuff anyway, so.
Yeah, Rusty brings up a good point. We need more characters based off of the Marvel Snap universe.
Oh my god, I love that game.
Especially one cost Iceman.
But he's useful. He's in the game though.
He is.
There you go.
He is
There's-
in the game.
There's not.
Isn't
many
Uncle
games-
Ben in the game?
And Snap?
Yeah.
Not that I've seen.
Oh, I dig that. Yeah, we need Uncle Ben and MCP for real.
First
For
zero
sure.
threat.
But-
Yeah, Uncle Ben is in the
It's just his
database.
corpse.
He's just a
When
times
this
2
card
piece
is
of terrain
destroyed,
laying
add
there.
Spider-Man to your hand.
What?
That's
Oh,
a
I
real
love
thing.
that. I
Uncle
love that.
Ben got into a game before Iceman got into MCP. Let it be known. Rip and Peaches MCP. You hear it, Kurt, guys. It's dead.
Going home.
Go play. Go pick up your ball and go home, nerd.
So
I have it right here.
because it is the final episode of the year, we can't review 2022 in 2023. I saw in chat earlier there was a bunch of suggestions based off of my super funny joke when I said we were talking about the most deserving character that we would like to see updated or changed for next year. There were some great examples in there. Do you guys have anything that you would like to see a change made if we do kind of get another pass by for maybe some characters that could use a little love?
I'm gonna take
I'm
yours.
So I'm gonna make two caveats here, and that is fine because it will be in line of the caveat that I'm going to make for Dr. D, where he can't say Daredevil, and I'm assuming you want to take Cyclops away from me.
Stop reading my mind tonight.
Listen, it's my superpower.
All
but
right,
I'll
you can
allow
have
it.
Cyclops. if
No,
you want.
no, I'll allow it because I was gonna say Dr. D can't do Daredevil, and
For the
I
record,
can't-
I haven't even talked about Daredevil. I think like once since I've been on here.
Well, you talk about him about as much as you tell us what you did this week as far as how stuff goes.
Yeah, would love to know, but
I'm kind of dead to it
Tight-lipped.
anyway.
But yeah, so I won't do Cyclops. Dr. D won't do Daredevil, and Dan won't do Blue Morpho. Miss Marvel.
What?
The Deep
Okay.
Cut Venture Brothers reference. Blue Morpho.
sure.
All right, I'll tell you. Mine's easy. Mine's the other character I absolutely love.
Iron Fist?
Iron Fist is perfect. Actually, he's like
I
a
don't
perfect.
He's
disagree.
great. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
So, and now this change might already be coming. So, because we've somewhat seen it change in one of the affiliation packs, but I really wish Core Spidey was better. Or actually, let me rephrase that. I don't think Core Spidey's bad. My biggest thing has always been if you want four threat Spidey, you just take 3-threat Gwen because Gwen does essentially the same thing he does,
Right.
but cheaper, right? So you get that extra threat. But
She's an
that's the one I would
nonsense.
like to see. But she's got a ranged attack at range 4. I mean, for the most part, she just stays out of range and just heckles people.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But honestly, one of the characters I really wish would get a little glow up is this one kind of coming out of left field. I really wish Hella was a little better. Because she's again a fourth threat. Hopefully, if I keep screaming it, they'll hear me. We're AMG headquarters. But I think Hella's a really she's an especially powerful character in Marvel, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but she's you never see her. I mean, even in affiliation, you barely see Hella.
So
And I think she needs the ultimate encounter thing where she needs to have the minions. I think that almost would kind of fix her if they just added the minions to her. But yeah, I think she needs a little love myself.
So actually just this past week there was an episode of The Danger Room that came out that I was on, and I talked a lot about Hella in it as part of.
Wasn't it supposed to be about Cable?
It was about X-Force, yeah. Because when I was playing the Power Bottom 10, I used Hella a lot in there, and I found a really nice spot for her that I really liked her in. Granted, it was expensive to do, but on certain threat matchups, she just absolutely did work for me, where I would keep her somewhat center, used her as a turret, never moved her, and would just claim soul with 2 tokens twice a turn, and would just zot 2 and 3 threats off the table. Absolutely would melt some X-23s and honey badgers and anyone weak to that mystic defense, and I'm rolling 8 dice each time. If I'm dazing them or KOing them, I'm getting another token, and then I'm getting another token for just using her spender, which she almost always has power for, especially going into round 2. I think she's really good. She is a little costly, and you are completely reliant on just your blank die rolls to keep her alive, but I do think she has a spot, and I think she's certainly underutilized. But yeah, her as part of the X-Force Power Bottom 10 roster, where she's getting a reroll on that, constantly rolling 8 mystic dice every round, sometimes twice. It was really good. Liked her a lot.
And
She
I got
toads.
I got another one. That's real quick. Put Punisher in the Defenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Somebody else.
But yeah, as far as so what was your final answer there, Dr. D? Was it Hella or was it?
It's just for a character I'd like to see more of that might need just like a change. Like I said, I don't even think they'd have to do that much because, like, for the most part, I think on all the characters, and since the one character I actually do care about is you took away from me, and the fact that Spider-Man might, and I can't really pick Spider-Man because he might already be changed, but I would pick somebody like Hella.
And I meant to ask you that too. So assuming that is accurate and that's not a typo or anything, does that fix him for you?
An extra health? No.
Okay. There's gotta be something else there.
I would hope so. Like, even if you just made his powers like a little cheaper, it's like I don't even know how you fix them because it's another one of those problems where because who's a high threat character that you never see? Oh yeah, a Jean, right? Because like people really don't like Jean. She's a 5 threat. But why is it that people don't really like her? I think she's too much utility. Yeah. Maybe like she does one job too well, and you just like because what I said a couple episodes ago about the whole like every threat you should kind of get like half a job out of somebody.
Yeah.
So like Jean is really good at like the one thing she does do, but do you really want to pay 5 threat? No. Do you want a character that moves characters around like Pete does? But Pete doesn't really have very good power generation, yada yada. And again, all that stuff.
Well,
but
he's someone that might benefit heavily, similar to Steve did from the update to his shield throw, where maybe it's just instead of 4 for impact webbing or something, it's a 5. Yeah. And that's what kind of distinguishes him from Gwen.
That's why I hesitate because I'm just thinking like it wouldn't really take that much.
No, it wouldn't. I don't think so either.
Which is one of the best things that, and again, I'll praise him AMG on this. Like again, there's really none of the characters are like bad. It's some of the characters you don't see. It's purely just they just need like one of those little screws just to be tightened a little tighter, and for the most part, they're fine.
A little bit other than maybe
right. We saw that with the card pack. Most of those changes were not major
or sweet.
But had big impact. Like just those two, like that Captain America tweak. They increased the size that he could throw.
Yep.
And they gave him one more die in his attack, and it was like, oh. I didn't even think he was bad before, but now he like is good.
Absolutely.
Gabbo's the same thing, just 1 extra dice on his builder, and everybody was super happy. Everybody thought Gabbo was terrible.
Well, they also
a lot of
kind of significantly changed his leadership by making it.
For sure.
But I'm looking at Cyclops now, which was my first thought of who needs an update, change, and I'm like, other than we've talked about him a lot before. We did an episode where it was like, are like the best way to take
Mhm.
X-Men Blue. And it's just like, what does he need to change? Because at face value, he doesn't seem bad.
Field leader being a 2, I think would go.
That's my first thing. Is field leader should cost 2 power, because he's got a lot of good things that cost power, and he doesn't have great power generation. Optic blast being range 4 is nice.
It should be a 5.
Because they have
Bucky's
optic
assault
devastation
rifle's
as
a
range 5,
Yeah.
being 5. So like range 4 there is okay.
I think you turn concussive force to 2 power per wild, because obviously, when Colossus is doing it or Cyclops is doing it, you're not gaining that power. You're not sucking it out of them in any way, shape, or form. You are making them lose it. Make it a little stronger. Make it 2 power.
Yeah, I mean concussive force is practically useless.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's only on those 2 characters, and it doesn't do much. Like after the attack is resolved, they lose 1 power. Like you hit them with a strength 7 optic devastation, they're probably dazed or very hurt. They probably would have gained a bunch of power, so they lose 1. Like, why just make it stun them or something, or have it stun before the damage is dealt, like Mystique's. Like that would be.
I was gonna say, because
devastating.
there's a couple powers in the game already. That's just say, I think Ghost Rider's Penance there is the one I'm thinking of. It says you just don't get power from this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Straight up.
That would make a lot. Like that'd be kind of like stun ahead, like the concussive force. Yeah, I like that. It allows you to not gain power from this particular attack.
Yep.
Something like that. I think field leader being 2, and then change it. His leadership needs an overhaul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it needs to be completely changed.
Yep.
It's just no one ever takes Cyclops, mostly because of his leadership. Because you have to compare him to Storm.
Yep.
There's no way to not compare him to Storm, and her leadership is just objectively better.
Oh, it's very good.
I mean, her leadership might objectively be like one of the best in the game.
Oh, for sure.
Right, and Cyclops is widely accepted to be the worst in the game. So there's this huge divide, more than any other affiliation.
You
And
could
it
wombo
probably-
combo it too, actually. If you want to make Cyclops a push 4 all of a sudden,
Yeah, let's do it.
take field leader and throw it into the affiliation ability,
Yes.
similar to Storms, where once per round, someone within range 4, you can move them short or something like that.
Sure,
There you
just
go.
make that his leadership. Fine.
But and keep the other one too. Make a duo.
Maybe make it have
the-
some kind of trigger, like, oh, your character has to do an attack, and then somebody within 2 can make a move. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Some kind of trigger.
Yeah, I like that a lot more than someone else paying the power, because it's only any number of allied characters can pay 1 to reduce the cost of a spender.
Yeah. Or just anyone. Once on your turn, you can just make it. You're not so another character doesn't have to help you reduce the power of your attack. Just once per round, you can do something.
Or even if it's just if they have like for every character, every ally within 3, they can reduce the cost of a spender once a turn.
Yeah.
Instead of the ally spending the power for you, because it doesn't save you any power. It's not much of a benefit, which is why no one takes it.
As far as I like all the. I think like similar to Spidey, right? He doesn't need a ton.
No.
He just needs a couple tweaks and maybe shift some things around and throw something under the carpet and then pull another one out. And I think you're good to go.
Because like he's got good defenses. He's 4-3-3.
Yep.
He's got 6-6 for health, which is nice. Like his attacks are fine. Concussive force is not a good ability, but
No.
I think,
the actual
and I
attacks
think
are great.
as the roster of characters in the game gets bigger, I think quick draw is slowly becoming better and better since everybody seems to
Yes.
be getting like melee 3 ranges for some reason.
I do think that, and very specifically seeing the interaction too, because I've been playing a lot of Strange and Cable, being able to steroid those quick draws and those martial prowesses and those coiled serpents can be very fun.
I didn't realize. I thought his quick draw was the same as
No, because Hawkeye's is range
Hawkeye's.
3.
It's very different.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hawkeye's is range 3.
Well, isn't
you
Hawkeye's he
wild.
makes an attack back?
correct. They are very very different.
Isn't the same name though?
Nope.
No.
I don't
Is
think
Hawkeye's
so.
like fast draw or something? I thought it was
think
the
so.
same
I'm
thing
looking,
for some.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, because
looking
his
it up.
quick draw is like martial prowess. Right? That's the you roll 5 dice
Correct, yep.
instead of your defense. if you take
Fast
no
draw.
damage.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's fast
If he's
draw.
targeted,
That's
the
way better
attack.
than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was just another optic blast he could do if the other
Also,
person wasn't close to him. I haven't read this card in a
fast-
long time.
I have thought
Fast
that
draw
several
does
times
happen
while
before
playing.
the attack.
I mean, fast draw is fantastic if it actually triggers.
But it's so rare to bump into characters that shoot over 3.
Right.
Or not rare. It's very uncommon,
Cyclops does.
I played Hawkeye a lot a while ago, and I almost never got to use fast draw. But when you do, it's great.
Yeah.
His range 5, strength 5 attack is so good. I love
Um,
Hawkeye. I want to play him more now.
Speaking of,
Also,
I
at
think-
4 or 5 health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Speaking of, I think Hawkeye might be someone that could use a little bit of love. I was going to say Bullseye, but I guess I'll go with a real answer. Hawkeye, I think, is one of those ones. We remember, like, and maybe this was just us in our local play group, but when Hawkeye came out, we played him every single game. It was a rush to say who would play their roster first to know which side Hawkeye would be.
Yeah, we used him constantly.
And I haven't even thought about Hawkeye. I've thought about really unpopular characters. Hawkeye is not one of the ones that's even been on my radar.
Well, he's so squishy.
Yeah.
He's like the squishiest. He's got 4 stamina on his healthy side. 4 physical defense is nice, but 2 energy and mystic defense. He goes down to a stiff wind.
Correct.
Like his arrow shot is great. Hook air, like all his attacks and superpowers are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't take hits and goes down so easily.
Well, he's just a dude with like 4 to 5 arrows, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But
he is just a dude, so I get why he's kind of squishy.
I would almost rather see him at 3s across the board for defense instead of 4-2-3.
4-2-2.
4, yeah.
Yeah, 4-2-2.
Oh, I'd absolutely rather see 3s across the board. That's a net gain there.
Mm-hmm.
I also just wish he was just 5 and 5 for stamina because he's a 3 threat.
Right.
Like I don't think that, like, yeah, he has a range 5, strength 5 builder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that makes up for that lack of stamina because stamina is so important and like I feel like is really factored into the threat level
Yeah.
heavily. So the fact that he only has 9 total stamina is like, ugh.
And once again, some of the other characters that I think about too that could just really use just that little bit of extra are all characters that do pretty well working together sometimes. Outside of vanilla Sabretooth and vanilla Wolverine, who with the new ones out, it is a very difficult choice to consider using the older ones. Outside of the long move on Sabretooth, still.
Especially
the new one
since
is
they're both Uncanny X-Men and Brotherhood like we thought they weren't going to be, and they
Right.
are. So it's like, well, why would you take Wolverine over Logan the Wolverine? At the same threat,
I mean,
same affiliations.
And that one, like, and even there's a tiny part of me that's like, I think you can make the argument for the Sabretooth, but not really. Yeah, I
I
think.
do really like his counterattack.
Yeah.
The counterattack is what does it for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that I could still see people want to use the other Sabretooth.
Yeah, not the other Wolverine, though.
I don't think most people will over the current one, the other one, but yeah, the other Wolverine is inexcusably bad
It's tough
compared to the new one.
Yeah, it's tough to compare them now.
The other two, the new Wolverine, new Sabretooth, are they in X-Force 2 or no?
No,
I don't think
so.
so.
Okay,
I
so
think that's
I
one.
just want to double down on why X-Force needs a little. You know?
See, so like the problem with X-Force, again, I think the problem with X-Force is that you're tied to a 5 leader.
Yeah.
Again, they
I
needed
mean,
a second
Cable's
leader.
good.
Maverick.
Dude,
Maverick
I'd be stoked with that.
I would love Maverick.
All the other characters I can think of that I would want as secondary leaders for X-Force are also Weapon X program.
Yeah, who else would be a leader there? Cannonball?
Yeah.
He led X-Force for a little bit, I think.
What about Cyclops?
A Cyclops?
Don't get crazy.
I would, dude, no,
a
for
new
real.
version of let's
For
get
real, glam Cyclops up like you did with Sabretooth and Wolverine. Make him an alternative leader for X-Force, please. Actually,
that would be
please.
awesome.
That's how you fix mutants. You just make new ones.
Make more
and just-
mutants.
We got
That
a
is one of the
Cyclops at home.
rules.
Yeah. Yep.
The Cyclops
the
at home.
laws.
The current Cyclops.
I do want to say
Or gold
real
balls.
quick to a question we had in chat a
Yeah,
while ago.
I'm
Somebody
glad you
highlighted it. And I don't want to ignore them because they did
Yeah.
highlight it. They said, "What are our main
Teams.
So like,
And that was, by the way, just an incredibly great name, Chunky Charizard Boy.
oh man, that's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
I was gonna make sure we brought.
I want my main team to be X-Men, but I'm not good with them.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on a second before you answer this question. What is the team you wish you could main? There you go.
Yeah, I want to main X-Men. Absolutely. Every time I play X-Men, I get hosed. And I know like they're considered one of the better affiliations right now. They're too finesse for me. I really like a Criminal Syndicate Spider Foes roster with a bunch of tanky boys that can take hits and sit on objectives and not get moved around too easily. That's my go-to.
It's Brotherhood for me. I wish I could play Brotherhood better. I can play the jank all day. I cannot play the good teams. It just doesn't work out. I'm trying to use spenders that I should never touch. You
Right.
know what I mean? Do all that type of stuff. But I main X-Force, I think, or Criminal Syndicate as well. I love Crime Syndicate, but not the one you're thinking of. The one you
Yeah,
don't
you're
like.
Daredevil. Daredevil.
I thought Hydra was gonna be your main.
Yeah.
I don't have the reps in with him yet. I've
Fair.
played him a couple times.
I said
but-
wish. I
Yeah.
said wish.
Ben says
Aw.
he'll teach you.
Ben, thank you. Ben's
What
a great
about-
person to learn from too.
I'm gonna ask Dr. D what his.
Oh,
What
thanks.
do you want to be good with, and why is it X-Men? And what is your actual go-to?
And why is it Defenders?
So honestly, I wish my main was Defenders again for the illustrated reasons I've already talked about. But I'm known for playing Wizards, just because of the
Convocation.
fact that Convocation, mother loving Wizards, and yeah, that's what I'm known for. That's probably my main. I've been doing a lot of Spider Foes lately, so I mean anything Spider-Man universe. I think I've been waiting for maybe a few more spiders. I think once they come out, I'll probably go pretty hard into webheads again.
Mm.
I really just wish they would put out Scarlet Spider. I really wish they'd put out just some of the other spider, like Silk. I'd die. I would
There's
die
so
for like
many they can do.
yeah, so
I
many.
will say I might change my answer from
Superior.
Brotherhood to Web Warriors as far as an affiliation. I wish I could play.
Mhm.
I do not have the patience for Web Warriors. I
You-
need to be murdering people, and
Yes.
I'm not gonna wait to activate Ghost Spider last to make sure that I'm just scoring all the points. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna forget
Right.
each time.
Well, that's why I want to play X-Men. I want to play a smash your face in X-Men list with Cyclops, Wolverine, Colossus, but they don't do what I want them to do.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't work the way I want them or expect them to,
Mhm.
so it doesn't work out. Like if I want to play a smash your face X-Men list, I got to take X-23 and
Yeah.
Rogue.
I mean,
Is good.
X-23 though, and
Yes,
Rogue.
I mean, they're
a
both
ton of
great.
fun.
I love playing them, but like, I
all for
want
the price of one Malekith.
You want to bring the animated series characters
Mhm.
from X-Men, and they just
some of
don't.
them.
They just don't work.
You
Well,
know,
I mean,
Gene?
whatever.
I don't like
Yeah,
Jean.
okay.
I
Again,
as a
so here's the
five, I
question:
don't-
why do you not like Jean?
So I was gonna say this while you were talking about her before, is that when I have used Jean, I felt like I just didn't get 5 threat out of her. I felt like there wasn't enough she could do during her turn,
Mm.
and her attacks just weren't up to snuff with other 5 threats. That I was just like, "Ugh." And when I use Cassandra Nova, I feel like I get that out of her,
I actually agree with that, 100%.
which
I've
is
had
kind of
similar
weird because when that
experience.
box first came out, it was like, well, I'll get the box for Jean, and I guess I'll use Cassandra Nova sometimes,
Mhm.
but she seems like the better character out of that box.
It's one of those things where Jean is kind of a commitment at being a 5 threat, and she doesn't have attacks that are incredibly overwhelming or anything along those lines, but a lot of her utility is based around some more specific stuff. She's denying pushes and things like that that maybe you don't even have on the other side.
Right. She's very situational. And half the time
Mid-
I'd forget that anyway.
Right.
I need characters that are simple, basic. So I like Lizard. I don't have a lot to remember. He just does it.
That's true.
Yep.
So I'm going to like Rhino.
I don't disagree.
Mental Domination is also an amazing card.
Yes.
I
it
don't
is.
agree with that.
Listen, how is it not an amazing card?
I've never seen it do much.
Are you kidding? You were there. We commentated on it together when a mental domination went to a rocket raccoon who got moved away to punch himself in the face, who then rescued Mito or something away, and then took the self face shot from a rocket raccoon punching himself with mental domination. It was so cool.
It was cool, but did it do anything?
Yes.
You got the move.
4 undefended damage to a Groot.
All right, fair. He rolled very poorly on the defense roll. Mm-hmm. But like,
I was once again shout out to Shane Smith for
it
just
was a
allowing
great
that to
play.
happen on stream.
Every time we've tried to use mental domination, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I also don't understand that card still after debating it and discussing it for like an hour that day.
Yeah.
I read that card and my head just hurts. So I don't like it. It makes me feel dumb.
Oh gosh.
But, with that said,
Cassandra,
We stayed remarkably on task today.
we did.
Who's Ulick?
Who is
Ulick?
Let's end the episode with the question we always like to ask ourselves in the shower. Who is Ulick?
What a great line.
That said, though, that is going to bring us to a close for the year 2022, guys. We thank you so much, especially all of you here on Twitch watching this live every week. What's that, Dr. D?
You know what? Here, this is the last episode of the year, right?
Mhm.
All right, let's make Let's put maybe not money. Let's put Patreon money down.
Nope.
What?
What character do you want to see? What one character that you don't already know is coming do you want to see in 2023?
Wiccan.
Wiccan. Okay. Well, you
It's
do.
going to be a big Young Avengers year.
I don't think you're allowed to choose Iceman just out of principle because you know it's not going to come out.
All right, so everybody knows I'm going to say Iceman. So,
Yeah, well, obviously.
right behind him would probably be Nightcrawler.
Gilgamesh. Oh. I don't know.
The Eternal?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get Eternals.
But I'm sorry, I interrupted you as you were.
What did I just say? Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I can't believe we don't have Nightcrawler yet.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I want the classic Claremont run X-Men team still. So
Yeah.
Nightcrawler, even Dazzler would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
I would be. Do you think they're going to go full disco when they do Dazzler?
Oh, you gotta.
I mean, they said they're going with the 90s look, so she might have bomber jacket too. I don't know.
Looks rad.
She had short hair in the show, I think. I don't think she had the afro thing.
I don't ever remember her in the
Was
show.
she? I
I
don't-
just remember her from the arcade game.
Yeah,
But
and that was
she
based off the 1989 special
Yeah.
where Wolverine was Australian.
It happens to the best of us.
It's so weird. Why?
Ah,
Laser claws.
but
Love that game.
what about you, Dr. D? Is it Stick?
Oh my gosh! If they put Stick in this game, he would be the worst 4 threat in the game. I think I'm gonna blow everybody's minds. All right, and I'm gonna list the one mutant I give a rat's butt about. I am
Betamax?
excited for
Yes.
Emma.
Oh,
want
yeah.
Emma Frost.
Yep.
I would love Emma
Where is
Frost.
the White Queen? I want to be her white daddy.
Emma
Please.
Frost Iceman box confirmed. We got it.
I would say, dude, an Emma Frost and Sebastian Shaw box would be.
I don't think.
rad.
I think Emma Frost will be in her own box because it'll probably have 2 models because she'll probably have like a diamond transform.
That'd be
Or
cool.
a cuckoo with her, maybe.
Or Emma Frost and Professor X finally.
Emma
Yeah,
Frost
well.
with
Box.
the Stepford Cuckoos as her minions, as her grunts.
I don't know
as-
about minions. I think more.
Could
Nick
potentially
Fury
be the
Sr..
Hellions leader of the Hellions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody wants the Hellions.
What? The Hellions were awesome. What about that weird look? What about Cat Eye?
She's so creepy.
Yeah, she is.
She's creepy as Tara. Here's a card.
Yeah. You know how much we've always wanted one of
The
those?
Hellions are kind of. The original Hellion team was kind of lame.
Dude, what if we got the Hellions? What if we got Tara and she could actually steal things and Gambit couldn't?
Keebler would lose his mind. Somebody earlier said that Gambit, they would like to see Gambit have a look over.
Yeah.
I think it may have been Ben.
No, Ben was actually saying that he's actually gotten a lot of use out of Gambit recently, and he had kind of maybe overlooked him a little bit.
I really feel like
Gambit's
Gambit
fine.
isn't that bad. He
I
just
can
doesn't do what
fine.
you want. It's like what you said, Dan. It's like you have these characters. You're like, they're not bad at what they do. You really just wish they did something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Gambit is one I don't usually think of, but need to give him more of a shot because he's got some really cool stuff.
I'll say I tried him out after watching Ben put him to really good use on stream, and I was like, wow, you know what? Gambit can do the things that you need him to do. You're banking on wilds, but he's got a whole bunch of things to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
I actually really like him in X-Force.
Axel's got a good one. Bishop. I'd love to see Bishop and Nimrod.
Mm.
Have Bishop be part of X-Men, obviously, and Nimrod, a new Sentinel
Part of
character.
Sentinels.
Maybe even a new
So-
Sentinel leader.
They've stopped making boxes that have like heroes and villains in them. I don't know
Yeah,
if you've noticed that.
we haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
Heimdall
Oh,
and
I-
Scourge is probably the last one, but they're both Asgard, so
But
And again, Scourge isn't always a villain.
true.
correct. But real quick here, we got to end this because we do have an episode of the cleanup phase coming up next. So if you are a subscriber at any level of the Patreon over at patreon.com/professionalcasual, you'll get access to the follow-up live stream. We do it once a month called the cleanup phase. That'll be going live here very shortly. With that said, really appreciate everyone's support right here on the Twitch, whether it's with Amazon free subs or not, or just half a meatball subs. Listen, guys, we really appreciate it quite a bit, and we want to give a special shout out to all of our professional cake sitters and our King Ding doppelgangers over at the Patreon, including Rob, Bastion, Leroy, Dr. D, Tony Hot Hands, Devil Pup,
Cider drinker.
Cider Drinker, Bicon, and
Dagna.
Adam Dagna, and
Cider
Cider Drinker.
Did you get the guy from the last one? Did you get his name?
Yes, that was Devil Pup. So
That was Devil.
So make sure to check out the show notes too. There's going to be some links in there for those of our professional cake sitters and King Dean doppelgangers that have links that you might click. That'd be super cool. But follow us on the YouTube. You can check out everything there as well, and over at facebook.com/professionalcasual or professionalcasual.com. Especially if you want to read some blogs written by one of these two, or actually all of us. You can read blogs from all of us there.
Yeah.
All right. I love you.
Some of them might even have real information.
Some of them do.
A couple.
But guys, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Happy 2022. Be safe, be healthy, and
Bye,
remember
guys.
to leave the blood on the bracket, because this has been Wait, Did I Roll a Wild?
Love you guys, especially Rusty. Bye.
Bye, Rusty.